Hey everyone, welcome back to Ormsby Farm. My name is Casey. So we're in the kitchen again because it's canning day. As you can see behind me, we had a lot of great response from our couple canning videos that we had on our YouTube channel. So I thought, okay, well, we're gonna do some more canning. Let me bring the camera along and show you. So today we're doing some salsa. We're doing some apple and pear sauce. We're doing some more pear jam and some apple pie filling. And I'm also gonna try some apple peeled vinegar. And I learned that from Jessica over at Three Rivers Homestead. So this is not a how-to on that, but we're gonna try it out and we're gonna see how it works. But all the canning stuff that I'm doing today is from my favorite book, The Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving. I learned about it from Sarah and Andrea. Best book ever, as you see, I have on my little notes. That's where all the recipes are, but I will also leave them in the description box below. So if you're enjoying these canning videos, give this video a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get started.
I'm coming home.
Alrighty, so I started off with about 16 pounds of peeled and diced tomatoes in my pot. I was going to shoot that, but my camera died. So yes, we got about 16 pounds of the diced tomatoes in here as well. And this recipe I did not get from the Ball canning book. It's actually one of my recipes and I will leave it down below. But we're gonna just add a couple things and then we're gonna bring it up to a boil before we immersion blend it and then put it in the water bath canner to can. So this works really well with fresh tomatoes, your homegrown canned tomatoes, but also if you don't have those, you can use canned tomatoes from the store. I've done it before, it works just fine. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm gonna put in is I'm gonna put in some pickled jalapenos. Now these were canned last year from our jalapenos, and I'm not really caring about the size because it's all gonna be blended up, but I am leaving the seeds in there because, well, why not? We are daredevils. So I'm gonna do about 3 whole pickled jalapenos. I'm gonna be doing about 1.5 onions. And again, I'm not really worrying how big the chunks are because it will be blended up. And probably about a cup of lime juice. Now right here is when I would be putting in one of the final ingredients before all the spices, and that is cilantro, but I didn't use my cabeza, and now we have none. So we're gonna do it without, and I'm sure it will taste just fine. All right, first seasoning we're gonna do is gonna add some salt. We use pink Himalayan. This may look like a lot, but we are doing a lot of salsa. Next is gonna be cumin, or cumin, however you say it. And then we're gonna have some garlic powder. Again, all the measurements will be down in the description box. And then of course some onion powder. And then if I'm not crazy enough for jalapenos with seeds, and a little bit of red pepper flakes in there as well, just to give it a nice little bite. I'm gonna give it a good stir. And then we're going to put it on high and let it come up to a soft boil. So I'm just stir all this up. And we'll see you when that comes up to a boil. And what I'm doing next, y'all, is I'm gonna go ahead and use the immersion blender to blend it up to the consistency that I want. So I'll put you down and I'll be back once I blend it up. Alrighty, y'all. Now that I have blended up to the consistency that our family prefers, I'm going to go ahead and ladle it into the freshly cleaned jars. You saw me cleaning it. You want to make sure you clean them really good, clean. You don't want to introduce any bacteria to your hot food in the canning process. It used to be that you had to boil the lids and the tops, or the lids and the rings, before you canned them, but that has changed. So that's why it's really, really good to get one of the ball candy books, just to kind of stay in touch with all the new changes that happen. Or find you a good YouTube channel that are pros, because as I said before, I'm not a professional canner. I learned during the pandemic and like it, and nothing's gone bad since I've done it. So things that I'll be using today, and I'm canning them in 3/4 pint jars. This is really good size for us, you know, family of 4 adults, to have with a meal, Mexican meal, because we love Mexican. And these have always been good, and they're a good size to put multiple in my water bath canner. Now I've brought the water in the water bath canner up to a boil and then turned it off, left the top on, just so it's easier to bring it up to a boil when I put everything in. I'm also going to be using the funnel and the measuring sticky thing that I got in a set on Amazon. And I'll leave that in our Amazon affiliate link. And also I'll be using the jar movie thingy. I'm really good at making up names, and a ladle. And we're gonna want to ladle in the hot salsa into the hot jar, which is why you want to clean it good, hot, put them on a towel so there's not too much shock, to a 1/2 inch of headspace. So I'm gonna do one on camera for you and show you, and then I'm gonna speed it up so we can get this process along. So I have the funnel in the first one. So what I'm gonna do is take the ladled hot salsa as I spill it all over Mom's new towels, great. And we're gonna just ladle it in till it's the 1/2 inch headspace. If you're a new canner like I was, you'll want to use your headspace tool a lot. I don't know if you'll be able to see on the camera, but there are numbers. So you want to put it to where a 1/2 inch is. And that's just about perfect. So we're going to move on to the next one. With water bath canning, I have noticed that people prep, ring, top, put in the water bath canner to keep it at the right temperature. So that's what I'm going to do while I'm on camera. Now I will say I don't always do this, but today, since I'm doing kind of a how-to, I will. You're going to want to wipe around the rim just to make sure there's no debris, extra salsa left there that would mess up the seal, okay? And then you're going to want to grab a top and a ring. Top, ring, finger tight, and then we're going to put this jar right into the canner. Alrighty, so my canner is somewhat full, but I have 4 left, so I want to make sure that I have at least 4 pints to go on another round. So we are going to put the lid on, bring it back up to a boil, and let it boil for 20 minutes. So we'll see you when that's done. And I may even show you a little peek of what it looks like when it's at the rolling boil. So we'll see you in a second. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the rolling boil. So it's all nice and closed in there. It's up to the boil. Now we start our 20-minute timer. Alrighty, y'all. So while the first round of salsa is going, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up all the fruits that I got. I'm doing 4 different fruit kind of projects today. We're gonna be doing some pear jelly, or excuse me, pear jam again. We're gonna be doing some apple pie filling, and then we're gonna do some apple and pear sauce combined. And we're also going to try some apple peel core scrap vinegar. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna get my 2 pots set up. I'm gonna peel the pears and put them in one. And I'm gonna start cutting up the apples and pears for the sauce and put them into the big one. We're gonna leave the skins on that. And as I mentioned, all of the peels, the core, all the scraps are gonna go into these 2 jars. One for the apples, one for the pears. And that's gonna make the vinegar. So let's go. Alrighty, so our timer went off. I have moved my water bath canner to turned off the burner, moved it to a cool burner, and now I'm taking the top off, and we're gonna let it sit there for about 5 to 10 minutes. So we'll see you back in about 5 to 10 minutes. Alrighty, so I've cut up all of the pears and the apples that I want for the sauce. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on, my timer went off. And so I'm gonna put this on the stove and bring that up to a boil to where it's nice and soft. I don't know how long that's gonna take, but I'll let you know throughout the video. Alrighty, so with those salsas, now that you've taken them out, don't touch them, don't move them, don't look at them for 24 hours. You're gonna start hearing a popping noise, and that popping noise means it is a good seal. It is music to a canner's ears, like a symphony. So I'm actually gonna hold off on putting these other salsas in there because I may add it in with either our apple pie filling or some other ones that are also 20 minutes in the water bath canner. Just because I just don't have enough, I wanna use my time sparingly. So let's continue with our fruit. Alrighty, so I decided to do some slices, pear and apple slices, that I'm gonna put in water, hot water. So I'm gonna raw pack it, which basically just means it's raw, it's cold. You put it into your jar with boiling hot water or your syrup, depending. We just want to do it in water. And that way I can water bath can it with my other 4 salsas that are already in there because they are 20 minutes as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill the slices up with water, and then we're going to put it in the water bath canner. Alrighty. And one thing that I didn't mention before is you want to make sure that the water, if I can let go of this jar, the water is 1 inch above the top of the canning lid. So 1 inch above, which it is. So we're going to put the top on, bring it back up to a boil, and on to the next thing. Alrighty, y'all. Sweating in the kitchen now. But we got all of the apples peeled and diced up. We like diced in our apple pie, and I just have them in a water and lemon juice mixture so they don't brown. Even though some of these apples weren't the prettiest to start off with. And I ain't gonna call the company out, but if you follow me on Instagram, the company's name rhymes with lambs. So I ain't gonna call you out though. So as you can tell, they're all nice and soft in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add some flavoring to kind of give it that a holiday feel, because you know the holidays are right around the corner. We're going to do the same seasonings that you put into an apple pie filling. So I'm going to do some cinnamon, I'm going to do some nutmeg, We're gonna do some ginger. Ooh, it smells like the holidays. And we're gonna mix this up. And just so you know, one good thing for use for applesauce, besides eating it, is it's a really good substitute for oils when you're baking. And I'll leave some links below of all the different substitutions that you can use applesauce for. So now we're gonna grab that immersion blender and blend it up nice and creamy. You can blend it to whatever chunkiness you like for applesauce. And then we're gonna put it in some jars. And this is my little cheapo Hamilton Beach. It's a Walmart cheapie. She's worked good. I'll leave it in the Amazon link below. Alrighty, y'all, so I'm about to can. So if you saw just a couple seconds ago, I went back to the ball canning book just to remind myself. It's a half of an inch headspace, and they're all 20 minutes for water bath canning. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna fill it up, I'm gonna get all the air bubbles out, wipe it down, and put them straight in the canner. Alrighty, so now I brought my apple pie filling sauce to a boil. I just added all of the apples. I'm gonna stir it and cover it on low and just let the apples heat up a little bit. If y'all want me to do a video on how to make the apple pie filling, leave this video a thumbs up and I will do it. Alright, so apple pie filling is in the water bath canner for 20 minutes. It's a half an inch of a headspace. Again, if you want to see me do a video on that, press that thumbs up. Pear jam, I have boiled the pears, added the sugar and lemon juice. I'm bringing it up to a boil. Then I will add the pectin, bring that up to a rolling boil, and let it boil for a minute. If you want to know how to do that, I'm going to leave the link. I just did a video on the pear jelly. It's delicious. So let me get all this done and I'll show you what we ended up with. Alrighty guys, last thing. So I put in the pear jam, and you leave half of an inch of headspace. And we had some apple juice left over from making the apple pie filling. So because it's so hard to get certain juices right now, I went ahead and put them in half pints and doing the same thing, half an inch. And I'm water bathing canning all of those for 10 minutes. Alrighty y'all, thank you so much for tuning into this video of water bath canning. If you're enjoying canning videos from our channel, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you know anytime new content drops to our channel. Leave me a comment in the comment section saying, Casey, do more canning if you want to see more canning. Follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Ormsby Farms. And until next video, y'all, be blessed.
I'm coming home.